Welcome to the third video in SPSS for Beginners from the RStats Institute at Missouri State University. So far, we've learned how to create variables in SPSS, enter data, do a frequency count, and calculate measures of central tendency and measures of variability. So collectively, these are called descriptive statistics because they describe what the set of numbers looks like. The mean tells us what is the average height, and the standard deviation tells us how spread out the heights are around that average. So we're now going to learn a little bit more about descriptive statistics and how to convert them to z-scores. Continuing with the data set that we created in the first video, we're going to get some more descriptive statistics. Go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and choose Descriptives. When this window pops up, move over all of the variables except for the random ID number. Now, click on Options. Here, we're presented with all kinds of options for descriptive statistics. Some, like mean and standard deviation, are already checked by default. Others, like range or sum, are available to check if we want them. I think that the default settings are good, so let's just continue and click OK. So here in the output, we see some useful information. For instance, we see the number of valid scores for each variable. We also see the valid n listwise, which is the number of complete cases with no missing data. For gender, we see that the minimum is 1, the maximum is 2. That's kind of useful, at least for checking that we do not have any data entry errors. But the mean and standard deviation for gender is pointless. The average of 1.58 for male and female doesn't really tell us anything. It just hints that there were a few more females than males. Now, on the other hand, the mean and standard deviation for height and weight can be very useful. So for example, the average weight was 133 pounds. The standard deviation was 13.4 pounds, which tells us that about 2/3 of our participants are going to be between 13.4 pounds heavier and 13.4 pounds lighter than the mean of 133 pounds. But let me show you one more way to get descriptive statistics. This is going to give you even more detail about each variable and more options for plotting and statistics. Let me show you how. Go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Explore. I'm going to do this twice. The first time, we're going to focus just on the scale variables. So move height and weight into the dependent list box. Now click on Statistics. And let's really push it this time. Click on Outliers and Percentiles, and then Continue. Now click on Plots and choose Histogram. We are really going all out, so click Continue and OK. Look at all of this data. We have every kind of descriptive statistic that you could dream of. We even have a special box for percentiles. We have another one that would identify if we have any outliers or extreme values. And there's our old friend, the histogram, plus a small stem and leaf plot, plus a new graph called a box plot. And those are for height only. We have a second set of graphs for weight. So you can see that we get a lot of information here. But wait, there's more. Let's split all of this by gender. So go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Explore. We're going to keep the same settings that we had previously. Simply move gender into the factor list, and then click OK. Now we see the same descriptive statistics have now been calculated separately for males and females. And remember, this splitting would work similarly if we had 3 groups, or 4, or more. Notice that we have separate histograms for males and females, separate stem and leaf plots, and the box plots are now side by side so that we can do comparisons. Knowing about these options for descriptive statistics can help us to visualize our data, depending upon the level of information that we need. If you need only the basics, use the descriptives command. If you want flexibility to choose exactly what output you get, use frequencies. And if you want to know the exquisite details, or to split the analysis by a categorical variable, use explore. But there's something else that I want to show you about these variables. Let's run one more analysis, and I will show you how to standardize values. Go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and Descriptives. Now first, I want to move gender out. We don't need that. Notice that there's a little box down here that says Save Standardized Values as Variables. I'm going to check that and then click OK. In the output window, we see exactly the same table that we had last time. But if you go back to your spreadsheet, you'll notice two new variables. They are called Z height and Z weight. You know what those are? Those are the Z-scores. SPSS converts each height measurement into a standardized score that tells us how many standard deviation units this score is away from the mean. Negative Z-scores mean that a raw score is below average. A positive Z-score means that it is above average. So that is a quick and easy way to get Z-scores in SPSS. So this was just a quick introduction to Z-scores. When you're ready to learn more, check out these other videos from RStats Institute and learn how to calculate Z-scores by hand, or how to do a Z-test using SPSS. So next, we're going to explore correlation and learn how to measure the relationship between two scale variables.